What's up, everybody? Jeff Goins here. Well, I feel something in my heart that I need to tell everybody. In my spirit. It's like a message that was put on me in the time that we're in. A lot of people are questioning, is the rapture getting ready to happen? Is Christ coming? Well, let me answer that for you real simple. Here's how you know. You don't depend on a preacher or somebody to try to tell you, even me. You pick up your Bible, you open it up, and you look at the signs. Okay? They're all through the Bible on when Christ would return. But the one that I see the most is how people will be in the last days. It said they'd be lovers of themselves, lovers of money, adulterers, vipers, evil people. And he said because people would be that way, that the love of many will wax cold, that people would stop loving one another. And that's the way it is. It's doggy dog world. You're going to have pain and suffering and anxiety and bill problems and things building up on you more and more and more. And let me tell you why. The message that I feel in my heart is that from the day you were born until the present moment, you've been running a race. And this message is that the Lord put on me, it's not for the worldly people. This is for, or not the artificial Christian. This is for real, true people of God. Let me tell you how I spot a Christian and know they're a Christian. They're poor. They don't have a whole lot. Okay. God, yeah, He's going to give people stuff to get by, but He's not going to give you a Mercedes. Okay. He's not going to give you a $50 billion mega church. He's not going to expect you to pay $100, $200, $300, $400 of your paycheck every week to some mega church. Okay. To me, that's a fake Christian. Church, to me, is no different than a business. You go to a company, and you walk into that company, and you go in there, and you see the CEO of the company, or the head man, the boss, okay? And then you walk through the company, and you look at the employees. You put them all outside in a parking lot and let them stand there. He'll be in a suit and tie, and he'll leave that afternoon at 5, 6, whatever time they leave, in a brand new Mercedes-Benz, or BMW, or whatever, to prove to everybody that he is the money man. And then your common worker like me and most people that'll watch this, you'll leave in whatever you can afford to drive, whether it may be, like I got a Jeep Liberty, a 2003 model. I had to get my taxes to pay for it. But I'll leave and he'll leave in his Mercedes. And then you'll go home and try to figure out with what little money you made this week, what you're going to spend it on, and what you're, living week to week, because that's the way America is now. Trying to figure out where you can put this $50 and that $50 and this $100 to be able to feed your family and pay the bills. Or which bill are you going to be able to not pay this week to maybe try to pay off next week to try to keep things going. But the bill collectors today are so greedy that they're not going to give you a chance to stay afloat. So you're forced to go to some place to get help, and then you got to go in there and tell them how many teeth's in your head. Okay? Now tell me what's the difference between a business and church. You go to a church, you got your deacon board, and you got your preachers. And I'm not knocking church, but this is a fact, Jack. Those people think they're going to be raptured, but these preachers ain't even preaching the rapture out of the pulpit, man. They're preaching prosperity and pay your tithes and offerings, and God's going to bless you. Well, I don't think God's going to take money from poor people and put it in a plate to give to the pastor and to make a mega church. I don't think that's how God would boost people's morale and help people pay their bills. God's, what's that saying? A foolish person and their money are soon parted. Well, it's pretty simple. God ain't going to do that. So here's what you got when you pull into this mega church, or any churches that's like this. Not all of them is this way, but I'm just saying, I'm not knocking church, and I'm not judging the house of God. I'm not the one to judge. And people need to quit judging one another and let God do that, because He'll do that on the great day of judgment. And I hear that one, you can't judge me. That's the number one thing that a fake Christian likes to say. You can't judge me. Well, what you need to do is worry about judging yourself, those that do want to judge. And Christians are the most artificial, church-going Christians are the first to judge. They're so judgmental of everybody. Well, you don't live this way and you don't live that way, so you're not going to heaven. You don't believe the way I believe, so you're not going to heaven. Wrong, Jack. If they believe in Jesus Christ and they're fighting the fight and they're struggling and they're running their race every single day and they're gritting their teeth to stay afloat with God and they're battling the devil, they got just as much right in the kingdom of heaven as you do. Just because they don't go to a mega church and believe the way you believe does not mean that they are not born again Christians. That false lie of hell is strung up by the devil. Religion is a man-made organization, like I was saying about the business. You take a business, the CEO comes out in a brand new car, and the peasants of the company, the employees, they leave in whatever they can afford and go home and eat bologna sandwiches. The CEO is going to go eat a steakhouse tonight, thinking, oh boy, I appreciate how they made me so much money this week. So now I can take my family to trips to Bahamas, take my family out to steak dinners. But let my peasants go home, and once a year I'll give them a little bit of money, give them a little bit of taste of money. The same thing the federal government does with your tax check. They give you just a little taste of it every single year, but then you have to wait forever to get it. Now, I'm a father of 6, would have been 7